few new moves for us today, a few new challenges. I'm sure you'll all be excited about. Right, when you're ready, ladies, come into your set position. So just placing the heels beneath the hips. Gentle opening from the hips to the knees, so the knees are facing forwards, and then that length over up your spine. So breathe in, feel like you're growing a little taller. If the chin pokes forward, just try and slightly draw the chin down, and then the chin towards the back of the throat, so the neck is nicely lengthened. Then turn your palms in to broaden and open across your collarbones, and then pushing the hands down so you feel your shoulders pulling away from the ears. Softening down with the ribs, so just held in place, and then come into your pelvic tilts. Breathe in, let your hip bones tilt towards the floor, and then breathe out, try and point your hip bones up towards the ceiling. Keep softly drawing the shoulder blades down, the hands reaching down towards the knees. So as you're moving from your lower back, the length, the stillness and alignment stays through your upper back. Chin still gently drawn back towards the throat, and feel the neck lengthening with the crown of your head being pulled up to the ceiling. That's where we'll create a little bit more stretch down the full length of the spine, especially in that lower back as you tuck under with your tailbone. Try and breathe out as you draw the tailbone down, and think about slightly lifting the pelvis up at the front, still keeping the knees slightly open from the hips, and then settling in your neutral spine. Keeping the ribs in place, take a breath in, breathe out, and just ease around the shoulder. So we're just trying to get rid of any tension around the top of the shoulder first. So we really want to feel that ball pushing down towards the outside of the knee, not letting the elbow bend. So try and lock your arms straight and feel it's the shoulder joint that moves, but not your ribs. So still using the upper abdominals to hold the ribs in place. Try and use the out breath as we lift, and that's what's going to help to keep the ribs down, and then a soft breath in as we release. And twice more here. Out on the way up, in on the way down, and your last one. And then we're going to come into a roll down. So you can either keep your hand here, or bring your hand to your head, left shoulder back and down, right arm straight, and ease through the spine. So we're going to let the movement come through the neck first, so bringing your ear to your shoulder, and then trying to get your ear directly in line with the shoulder as you roll down through the spine. Sometimes the head wants to come slightly forward, and it flexes our spine forwards. So the more we can keep that alignment between our ear, shoulder and hip, as if you're moving directly down between two panes of glass. Now while you've got your left elbow lifted, don't let the shoulder hunch up to the ear. Pull that left shoulder blade down, so you're still keeping that space between your ear and your shoulder. Lifting gently with the front of the pelvis. Breathing in as you ease down, and then breathing out as you rise. If you want to stretch a little further, still keeping the shoulder away from the ear, reach up to the ceiling, and then pulling the shoulder blade down. Keeping the shoulder blade drawn down as the arm reaches up, and then breathing in as you lower. Keep the pelvis tucked, the knees slightly open, and twice more. So just feeling that movement now come from between the ribs and the hips, as well as bring that movement through the neck and the spine. Your last one. Full breath, and then the out breath. And resting. Releasing your shoulder. Take your ball underneath your left hand, come back to your set position, so the knees open, tailbone tucked, shoulders and ribs set. Breathe in. With the out breath, bring the shoulder forward, keeping the arm straight. Sometimes you might find the head wants to move as the shoulder moves. So feel the length into the back of the neck. Then feel that connection through the front of your ribs. So there's no movement at all from the crown of the head down the full length of your spine. A little connection with slightly drawing the pubic bone up to the belly button. And then so you can just push the ball down a little further towards the outside of the knee. And feel that when you push the ball down, that shoulder blade's really sliding down into the rib cage. That's so nice to the shoulder. Holding the shoulder in set position, and then from here, bring your right hand to your head, roll your right shoulder back, and then breathe in. Ear towards the shoulder first, and then restacking each vertebrae as you rise. You might find again this right shoulder wants to hug up to the ear. So in your hands here, roll your right shoulder blade back and down, And really focus on trying to hold that shoulder blade in position as you tip to the side. Now notice the ball is directly down the outside of the thigh, it's not coming around to the front of the thigh. Then think about your feet, try and keep your weights even in both feet. If then you want to take more stretch, reach up to the ceiling and come back to the centre. Feel the in-breath again as you lower. Use the out-breath to rise, drawing the ribs back towards the hips. Knees are still gently opening from the hips. Chin still towards the back of the throat. And think about those two panes of glass. You're stood directly between them. So there's no movement, there's no space to come forwards. And twice more here. Get a nice easy breath in. A nice strong breath out. And again, in through the nose. And then out through the mouth. And reset. Right, bring the ball in front of your thighs, roll your shoulders back. We're going to come into a knee raise and a double arm float. So collarbones open, ribs held down, and your neutral spine. Right heel lifts, and then lift the ball and lift your right knee. And then onto the ball of the foot and into the heel. Breathing out as you lift your left heel, then your left knee, and a soft breath in as you lower. Each time you lower the foot, bring the weight back into the heel of your foot. Press down through the heel as you lift the opposite knee. Now as you lift the right knee, try and keep the left knee joint soft so you don't lock out the knees. That's going to make it a little bit more wobbly, but it's going to encourage more stability work around the knee, the ankles and the hips. Then we're going to add in some rotation. So the next time when you're at the top, we're going to hold, keep the knee facing forward, open your right arm, and then come back to the centre, and then reset. Start to breathe out with a lift. Take a breath in, drawing the shoulder blade back towards the spine. Breathe out to the centre, and then a soft breath in to reset. Now you know you can keep your eye gaze forwards, or you can open the chest and turn the head more. Coming back into the centre, and then resetting ball of foot, then the heel. Now again, keeping the weight in that right heel. Right knee soft and open, and then as you turn, trying to keep the knees, the hips nice and square to the front. Now when we draw the arm and the shoulder blade back, think about the ribs. Don't let those ribs push forward, so the ribs are held down. Crown of the head still pulled up to the ceiling. Weight back into the heel. And then easing down with lots of control. Breathing out slow. Lengthening. Breathe in as you open, keeping the ribs down. And then breathe out to close. Soft breath in and release. Once more on each side. So keeping the weight in the left heel. Keeping the head pulled up to the ceiling and the ribs down. Good for your balance. And your balance is looking very good this morning, ladies. One more time. Lengthening all through the neck, all through the spine. And then holding and coming back into centre. Place the ball on your thighs just for a little hamstring stretch before we go into our next move. So again, we need the collarbones nice and broad. The elbows in towards the ribs. Neutral spine and soft knees. Pull the hips back. Keep pulling the hips back as you hinge forward. Chin is in, push through the heels, and drive the hips back under the shoulders. So the knees are soft, the hips pull back. Keep pulling the hips back as far as you can. Lengthening the neck, and then push through both heels as you rise. Now, as much as we're looking for a little stretch in the hamstrings, we're also thinking about how using our upper back muscles to maintain a neutral spine as we tip forward. So you think about the collarbones and keep them as broad as possible as you tip forward. So as those collarbones start to close, the shoulders will come forward, and if the shoulders come forward, it makes the upper back round. So collarbones broad, keep those shoulder blades towards each other. And don't worry about how far you go, forward, think about pulling the hips back, and then pushing evenly through both heels. Belly button softly, towards the spine. Crown of the head pulling forward as the hips pull back. And then breathing out, pressing evenly through the heels as you rise. One last time. Now we're going to continue with this roll, but we're going to add in a little bit more balance, and we're still looking to maintain our neutral spine. So what we're going to do this time is put your ball on your left thigh with your left hand and your left shoulder back in set position. Your right leg strides back. Straight leg, now a little tilt forward, so you've still got the line from the ear all the way to the ankle. Same thing, we're going to tilt forward. This time we'll let the back leg lift, breathing in, rolling the ball to the knee, and then breathing out as you lightly tap your foot. Keep squeezing the front of your right thigh as you hinge forward so it's a straight leg. Shoulder blades gently squeeze towards each other. And again, as you hinge forward, pull the hips and the toe backwards. Now you can add in an arm float, reaching the right arm forward and then pushing up through the heel. Squeezing the front of the thigh, belly button towards the spine, and then pushing the heel into the floor and coming back to that diagonal. As the arm reaches forward, try to let the shoulder rise up towards the ears, and still think about the ribs staying softly drawn down towards the hips. Feeling the in-breath. Take a little pause. Now breathe out and rise. Just that tap of the foot. Twice more. Push back into your hips. Feel the weight in the heel. Push out the heel as you rise. Keep lengthening the spine. Little pause, and then a reset. That's quite tough on that standing leg. Try it on the other side. So again, when the ball's here, don't attempt to let your shoulder come forward. So the shoulder back, and then the hand just resting on the ball with that shoulder locked back into position. Then your left leg behind, feet hip distance, straighten the back leg. And again, as you straighten that back leg, naturally hinge forward to slim down neutral spine. When you're ready, you've got your balance. Pull the hips back a little. As you start to hinge forward, that back leg lifts. And then breathing out as you rise. Drawing the chin gently back in towards the throat. And again, as you push back with the hips, feel the weight in the heel, and then push out the heel to gently rise. We're looking to keep that left leg straight all the way through. So even when the foot comes down, don't let the knee bend. When you're ready, you can add in the arm extending forwards, and still trying to stay balanced, and breathe in to rise. Breathing out through the mouth, and then breathing in through your nose. Stretch back gently with the toes. Keep the shoulder blade drawn down into the back of the rib cage. And you're still trying to keep your collarbones nice and open as you hinge forwards. Chin is in, so as you tip forward, the crown of the head points towards the front of the room. Standing knee ever so slightly soft, pull back with the hips. One more time. Slow breath. And then a strong breath out to rise. Bottom switched on. Right, let's come to our lunges. So when you finish your last one, bringing your feet back to hip distance, shoulders are down, we're going to add a double arm float, and we're going to bring the arm out to the side. So knees are open, tailbone is tucked, and your right leg strides back. Sink into the back knee, take a double arm float, keeping the ribs down, and then just simply open up your left arm, back into the centre, rise, and then step forwards. Left leg back, feet hip distance and knees open, tucking the tailbone as you sink into that back knee. Now without letting the hips wobble, pull the shoulder blade down. Reach back up towards the hand, rise first, and then push out the front heel as you step in. Think about the breath, tuck in, breathing in as you sink. Sorry, breathe out with the lift of the ball. Take a breath in, open your left arm. Breathe out to lift the arm. Take a soft breath in. Breathe out, step forwards. So in through the nose, tuck. Breathe out through the mouth. sink. Don't let the ribs flare. Breathe in as you open your right arm, and then breathe out to close. Take a soft breath in, rise, and then breathe out, step forward. Now you can add in a heel lift. So if you want to add in your heel lift, we've got to make sure those knees are open. And when you lower the ball, you can then lift the heel onto the ball of the foot, place the heel down, rise, pushing out of the heel, and then stepping forwards. The in-breath, tuck, breathe out, sink. As you open the arm, if it feels okay, lift the heel, keeping the back knee open as much as you're keeping that front knee open. Rise first, and then push out the heel and step in. The shoulders staying directly above your hips, so the whole time we're maintaining that nice neutral spine. If you are lifting the heel, try not to let the weight roll onto the little toes. So when you lift the heel, you're going to feel the weight goes down to the ball of the foot, tailbone stays tucked under, breathing in as you open, breathe out to close, breathe in, rise, breathe out, step forwards, once more on each leg. So really focusing now, trying to find that stretch into our hip flexors, and that helps to keep the tailbone drawn down, the ribs held down. Chin still towards the back of the throat, so nice alignment all the way through the spine as we move. And that alignment of our spine never changes. We're just sinking into the knees to open up the hips, and we're challenging the stability of the ankle, the knee and the hip. We're placing the heel down, we rise, and then we step forward. We shake out the legs. Right, we're going to do the rest of the work lying down, so we've got a few different moves just to test out today. I'm sure you'll love them all. Right, first move is going to come to a nice easy hip bridge, and we're going to do a pass around with the balls. The ball's going to pass underneath the bottom, so you have to get your hips high to get the ball underneath of the bottom. So when we lie back, feet hip distance apart, and roll down, resting your head, your shoulders, and coming again into your neutral spine. So we'll find that length into the neck first, and the shoulders back into set position. Ball in your right hand, walk the feet back towards the bottom. So here when you look at your knees, they're directly in line with your hips. Ribs are down, and we've got our neutral spine. Just the hip bridge first, take a breath in. As you breathe out, feel the pelvis tilts back. Roll slowly through to your first rib, and then gently lifting each vertebrae so you get your hips up in line with your shoulders and your knees. Keeping the chin in, try and bring the upper back down first. Feel the pelvis tilting back here, so you go through your imprint without the ribs flaring, then go back into your neutral. Again, breathing out through the mouth, lengthen the neck. Draw the chin in, and as you rise, try and keep that chin slightly nodded in. Now it's when you lower down, the head might want to tilt back. So nod in the chin, come down through the upper back, feel the pelvis tilting back here to go through your imprint before you go into neutral without the ribs flaring and the head tilting. So let's just do two more, just to enjoy that mobility, control, and movement of the spine. Here, check the ribs don't flare still, so we're still in our neutral spine. Then with the chin in, upper back, mid back, imprint with the pelvis tilted back, and then roll the pelvis back to neutral. One more time. This is just a nice way of bringing that mobility through the spine. Activate our deeper muscles. Stretching through the spine as you roll down through each vertebrae, and then gently reset. And now we're going to come to ball passovers. So when you're ready, you're going to roll up through your hip bridge, ball in your right hand, and you're going to pass the ball underneath your bottom. As we roll down, palms towards the ceiling, and pass the ball back over the head. As you breathe out and rise, roll through your hip bridge, pass the ball under the bottom, squeeze the bottom to lift the hips. And as you reach the arms back, try and get your palms up as long as you can. Now still making sure that we're getting that fine control through the spine. Squeezing the bottom here, breathing in, rolling down through the spine, keeping the ribs down as the arms reach back. Because when we reach the arms back, it's more tempting for the ribs to flare. So we've got to really be aware of the ribs as we roll down here. If you feel that's too much, taking the arms all the way back over the head, bring it up a little. And then again, coming back underneath the hips. Breathe out with lower. Take a breath in. Breathe out with the rise. Take a little breath in. And again, try and breathe out as you lower down. And see if you can just stretch the arms a little further back if it feels okay around the shoulders. But really focus on those ribs staying down. We're going to do that just one more time. Breathe in, reach back, palms are up, each vertebrae lowers, chin still nodded in, and coming into your last one. Breathing in through the nose, and then breathing out through the mouth. Keep the ball over the head. Take your feet a little further forward, and from here we're going to come into a pullover. So we're going to bring the arms just back above your mid-chest. Shoulders away from the ears, neutral spine, heel slide. Right foot slides back away as your arms reach back, and then breathing out, drag the foot gently along the ground. Breathe in, slide your left foot forwards. Breathe out, gently drag the heel back along the floor. When you bring the heel back to centre, try not to put any weight into the heel. A light foot. And again, breathe in as you open. Breathe out, drag the heel and place it really lightly on the ground. Now we're trying to keep our lower back in neutral position as we extend the leg. So this is where our lower abdominals keep gently holding the pelvis slightly back towards the belly button. And as the arms reach back, that's where we need to use our upper abdominals to stop the ribs flaring away from the hips. So we're trying to keep our midsection nice and tight in set position, so we're not allowing anything to lengthen through the midsection as we move the arms and legs. The head might start to tilt back, so again a little nodding with the chin whenever you can. No weight onto the foot. And feel the in-breath as you extend. Hold for a second. Start to breathe out, slowly dragging the arms and legs back into centre. In through the nose. Feel the hold, and breathe out through the mouth, and reset. One last time. Slow breath, straight arms, ribs down. Breathe out, ease back to the centre. We're going to rise. So you might just lift your knees, maybe hold the knees, and take a little roll up. We're going to come to a roll back with a little bit of a difference. So we're going to have the ball on the right knee, and you're going to have your left hand holding the ball here. So let's start just the outside of the thigh. So from the top of the knee, come to the outside. Open the knees, and then we're going to take a breath in, roll back, so you roll the ball down your thigh. As you breathe out, push the ball back to the outside of the knee, and open your right arm. So we square the shoulders to the front, reach your right hand to your knee. Now as you breathe out, push the ball to the outside of the left knee and rotate. Breath in through the nose, and again we want to look at moving through the spine like we did with our hip bridge. As you roll down, tuck under with the tailbone. Keep the length into the neck, so you're never looking down to the floor, you're always looking forward to keep the neck aligned. So maybe think about keeping the head drawn up towards the ceiling as you roll down. Now you don't have to come too deep. You might find just about a third or halfway down is enough, or you might come all the way down to the shoulder blades. Feel the right shoulder opening. Breathe in again as you ease back slowly, rolling the ball down the thigh. Breathe out, push forward to the outside of the knee. So you're trying to keep both arms straight the whole time. Breathe out, push to the outside of the knee. And then a soft breath in as you release. One more time here. Out on the push up. In as you lower. And come to centre, ball in centre, and take a roll up. Should we do the other side? I'll just change sides. Bring your ball now to your left knee, I think that's right, or the opposite knee. When you're ready, lengthen your spine, reach your left arm forwards. I think I've got that one right way around. Breathe in as you lower. Now as you breathe out, push the ball to the outside of the knee and open the arm. Breathe into centre, and again it might just be about a third of the way down. You can just let your left hand touch the ball and then push across with your right hand. Might be a small move, you might be able to get a little bit further. Now just checking on the knees as you roll down and as you roll forward, try and keep the knees hip distance apart. Tuck under with the tailbone, make it smaller if you need a little less. And again, feel that in breath. Use the out breath, push and open. Maybe trying to look down the back arm. 3 to go here. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out on the push. Breath in to ease down. And your last one. And then hold in centre. Take the feet wide, take the legs out straight. Just put the ball in front. I'm just going to do a little stretch for the hamstrings again while we're here. So rolling the knees, the thighs back, so the knees point up to the ceiling. And we're going to gently start with the chin nodded in. Let the chin come to the chest and see if you can roll your ball forwards. Once you've rolled through the spine, try and gently push your chest forward and look down the back of your hands. And then as you rise, again try and roll through each vertebrae, coming up one than the next. So chin in, it's just a little roll down through the spine, allowing yourself, your weight to ease forward, your arms to lengthen, maybe a little glance down the back of the arms, and then in with the chin, and rolling back up through each vertebrae. So just 2 more there. Breathing in as you tuck in, lengthening and looking forwards if you can. And then breathe out slowly, bringing each vertebrae back up. And one more time. In through the nose. And pull back with the belly button. And restack back up through each vertebrae. Right, when you're ready, bring the legs in. You're going to place the ball underneath both of our feet. So in your own time, you've got the feet on the ball, the knees are together, and from here we're going to reach the arms forward. We're going to gently roll back, lifting the arms, and then rolling forward and coming back to centre. So again, as we reach the arms up, just for diagonal, and then breathe out, come forwards. Breathe in through the nose. Now, as you pull the ball back, start to take your knees wide. So you're almost making a diamond shape with the knees. So the feet stay together. As you roll back, open the knees, lift the arms, and then reach forward. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. Let the knees again come out to that diamond shape, keeping the ribs down, and then straightening both legs as you rise. Try to feel that roll through the spine. You're not coming all the way down, just a partial roll down to the point where you can still comfortably come forwards. Good for the hips, good for your core. And 2 more. Breathe in, open the knees so the feet turn towards each other. And then breathe out, turn the soles of your feet to the front. In, keep the ribs down. And then breathe out, rise and extend the legs. And then take a little forward fold and reach towards the shins, the ankles, or your feet. Once you've got a hold of your shins, your ankles, or your feet, try and gently bring the chest a little further forward so it really lengthens out through the spine. It'll roll back and down the shoulders. And then restack your spine when you're ready. We're going to lie back down. We're going to take the ball in hand. As you lie down onto the mats, we're going to bring our knees up above our hips. So knees come up to 90 degrees. Knees are going to stay hip distance apart, and that's where I want to keep them. We're going to take the ball above our breastbone and roll both shoulders back into set position. Now our focus is the shoulders and the ribs and the ball staying still. Keeping the ball in place, we're going to roll both knees to the right, keeping them hip distance, and then breathe out, bring them back to centre. Now the more that you keep the ball still, the more you know you're keeping your upper body still. Retracting the shoulders and pressing them down into the ground. As you roll the knees across, try not to let the ribs flare. Again, knees stay in hip distance, don't bring the knees together. And we add in a double leg extension and bring the legs back in straight. Then bring them to 90 degrees. So keep the ball still, extend the legs, and then bring them back into centre and take them back to 90 degrees. Little nod in again with the chin, squeeze the front of the thighs, and bring the legs back in. Keep retracting the shoulders, pressing them down into the floor, but also pulling them down into the back of your rib cage. Breathe in as you roll the knees across. Breathe out, squeeze your thighs straight and pull back to centre. And once more on each side. And hopefully the more you feel you're keeping that ball still, the more you feel your upper back staying still, and the more you feel the work through your waist. And knees back to 90 and rest the feet down. Come back to your hip bridge. So again, from here, just roll up through the spine, squeeze the bottom, and almost push your knees forward towards your toes. Keep the ribs slightly down, and then try and squeeze the bottom and slightly thrust up with the hips. Now when you're ready, bring your ball above your breastbone, shoulders away from your ears, right arm opens, left heel lifts without the hips dropping. So shoulders press into the floor, breathing in, open your right arm, lift your left heel, and then breathe out to centre. Changing sides, breath in through the nose, and then out through the mouth. Stay at the top of the hip bridge. So we want to feel the shoulders working by pressing them into the ground, and your glutes working by keeping the bottom squeezed to keep the hips stable. And as you're lifting the heel, you're trying to make sure the hips don't sink. Now we're going to add on. I'm going to do one to the right hand side, into the centre, double arm pull over with a double heel raise, then back into the centre. Left arm, right heel, back into the centre, keep the ribs down, double arm pull over with a double heel raise. So we're just simply doing one to each side, or one back over the head, breathing in. And if you feel those hips are starting to drop, maybe not adding in the heel raises, just working with the arms. And the whole time trying to maintain that same distance between the ribs and the hips. Keep that bottom squeezed right to the very end. Breathe out, big straight arms. Breathe out with the lift. And again, breathe in to open. Breathe out to close. We've got one more on each side. Breathe into your double arm pull over. Breathe out to lift the arms. Right arm, left heel. Breath in to open. Out to close. Double arm pull over. And once more to your left. And we've got one last double arm pull over with that double heel raise. Keeping the bottom squeezed. ball back above your chest and ease down slowly. Relax. Right, from here, have a roll onto your side. I like the relaxing bit. Oh gosh, time's flown. Right, better do a little bit more for the inner thighs. The outer thighs got a good work. So both legs out straight with your ball between your ankles and your feet just beyond your ball. Now hip away from the rib, shoulder away from your ear and the front of the ribs down. Hand light, double leg lift when you're ready. We're going to use the out breath as we lift the legs and a breath in as we lower. Now once we lift the legs, we're going to roll the ball so your top foot slightly rolls to the front of the ball, then back between your ankles and lower. So once you lift the legs, roll the top foot forward, back into centre and lower. And as you roll the ball forwards, the foot forwards, sorry, keep a nice squeeze of the ball. And again, it doesn't have to be a very big movement, and lower down. So it's almost like doing scissor legs. One foot slightly moves back, one forward, back into centre and lower. If you're happy with the stability of your hips and your shoulders, you might want to lift the arm. And as you bring your front foot slightly forward, bring the arm forward, back into centre and lower. Breathe out with a lift. Bring the top foot slightly forward, back foot back a little, into centre and lower. 4 to go here. Keep gently squeezing through the front of the thighs. And again, if you imagine your ball's like a little steering wheel and you're just trying to turn around a corner with your feet. Keep that top leg just a little bit longer than your bottom leg. Feeling that inner thigh. And hold. That makes the inner thigh work so much more. Let's try that on the other side when you're ready. So you might just get the ball and turn to the opposite side. Back between the ankles, the feet again are just beyond the ball. It's a really small, subtle movement, but it just makes such a big difference. Shoulder back, ribs down, eye gaze forward, and chin nodded in. Oops, I think I've just muted myself. Sorry, just press the button on the headphone and muted myself. Right, so in that set position, top leg just a little bit longer than the bottom leg. We're looking at hip stability, so want that hip away from the rib, hand down and shoulder set. Just a leg lift, using your out breath when you're ready to lift the legs, and a soft breath in as you lower. Out through the mouth with the lift, and a soft breath in. Try and notice you're not pushing too much into your hand as you lift your legs. But if you are a little, that's fine, as long as the shoulder is back in line with your ear. We don't want to use the shoulder to stabilise when it's out of alignment. That's why it's important to keep the shoulder alignment even when we're lying down. Now once you're at the top, bring your top leg slightly forward, back into centre and lower. Breathe out through the mouth, take a breath in, breathe out to centre and lower. So it's like your top leg's just going to roll slightly off centre towards the front of the ball. Your bottom leg rolls off centre towards the back of the ball, but still trying to keep the hips nice and still. Breathing in, roll forwards, breathe out, pull back, and release. In through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out to release. And if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, at the top, you can roll forward with the top foot into centre, and then roll forward with the bottom foot into centre, and then release. You can even do that with the arm off the hand off the floor. So strong straight legs, maybe just roll forward and back to centre, or maybe try and roll back as well, and then into centre and lower the legs. As you lower the legs, you can press the hand down, pull it back, and if you're rolling both ways, press the hand down twice, pull back and release. Breathe in through the nose. If you're just rolling the foot forward and back, just that one arm lower, and then reset. 2 more, whichever you choose. Think about the shoulder, still back in set position. Control it down. 1 more time. Gently drawing the belly button through towards the spine. And then releasing with control. Rolling onto your back. Oh. And right, you can put the ball to the side. We're just going to give those knees a hug in. And then once you've hugged your knees in, you can take them apart. Circle your hips. Let the knees push forward, roll them back, and then push the knees away. Just going in one direction. And then take the knees in the opposite direction. And push them away first, and then pull them out wide over your chest. And try and tilt your pelvis back slightly. And as you're moving your knees, try and keep that lower back in a soft imprint. So that's going to still challenge your abdominal muscles as we get more mobility through the hips. Once more. Hold in, take the back of your thighs. Give your legs a push forward, bringing the chin, and slowly rise when you're ready. Lengthening and releasing. Take a roll over. We're going to work our way up from our box position. We need to lengthen the spine first, and our toes tucked under. Pull the crown of the head forward and pull your shoulder blades back at the same time, so your neck is as long as it can be. Now with your toes tucked, push your hips back, but keep the head pulled forward. Then lift the hips, letting your ears come down between your arms. Pedal your feet, your right heel presses back, your left knee bends. Then your left heel presses back and your right knee bends. Push the hands into the floor and still draw the shoulder blades down to the back of the rib cage. As you're pedaling through your feet, you've got strong stability through your shoulders. The hips aren't rocking from side to side. We're just finding that nice stretch into our calves. Lifting the tailbone as high as you comfortably can, so your bottom's at the peak. Last one with your left heel pressing back. And then lifting both heels, bend your knees. If you can, take one long step forward, put the weight into that front heel, then bring your back foot through. Feet hip distance, bring in the chin. Relax the neck, shoulders and spine, and then breathe. When you're ready to rise, use the out breath and re-stack back up through the spine. Try and keep the chin tucked in as you rise. And a roll back with the shoulders. And a shake of the ears. Reach up your arms. Reach up through your ribs. Let the ribs flare. Maybe take the arms back a little. Just find that extension. Bring the arms forward. And then bring the hands down. And give your shoulders a shrug. Release. And again, breathe in. And let it go. And well done, ladies and gents. Thank you all very much. Let me test my new moves out on you. Not that you have much choice, I guess.